Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are. If an injury has to be done to a man, it should be so severe that his vengeance need not be feared. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. There is no other way to guard yourself against flattery than by making men understand that telling you the truth will not offend you. Never was anything great achieved without danger. Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception. I'm not interested in preserving the status quo, I want to overthrow it. Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. A man who is used to acting in one way never changes. He must come to ruin when the times, in changing, no longer are in harmony with his ways. He who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived. Is it better to be loved or feared? Men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deceptions. It is double pleasure to deceive the deceiver. Everyone who wants to know what will happen ought to examine what has happened. Everything in this world in any epoch has their replicas in antiquity. Of mankind we may say in general they are fickle, hypocritical, and greedy of gain. Men never do good unless necessity drives them to it, but when they are free to choose and can do just as they please, confusion and disorder become rampant. I hold strongly to this, that it is better to be impetuous than circumspect, because fortune is a woman, and if she is to be submissive it is necessary to beat and coerce her. He who builds on the people, builds on the mud. There is no avoiding war, it can only be postponed to the advantage of your enemy. The best fortress which a prince can possess is the affection of his people. In conclusion, the arms of others either fall from your back, or they weigh you down, or they bind you fast. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. There is nothing more important than appearing to be religious. Appear as you may wish to be. Men sooner forget the death of their father than the loss of their patrimony. For, in truth, there is no sure way of holding other than by destroying. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times. Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved. Nature creates few men brave, industry and training makes many. He who is highly esteemed is not easily conspired against. It is better to act and repent than not to act and regret. Men are so simple of mind, and so much dominated by their immediate needs, that a deceitful man will always find plenty who are ready to be deceived. Wisdom consists of knowing how to distinguish the nature of trouble, and in choosing the lesser evil. For one change always leaves a dovetail into which another will fit. Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few really know what you are. A prince is also esteemed when he is a true friend and a true enemy. Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality. All men have eyes, but few have the gift of penetration. One should never fall in the belief that you can find someone to pick you up. Therefore, it is necessary to be a fox to discover the snares and a lion to terrify the wolves. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few really know what you are. Men intrinsically do not trust new things that they have not experienced themselves. The vulgar crowd always is taken by appearances, and the world consists chiefly of the vulgar. Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. How we live is so different from how we ought to live that he who studies what ought to be done rather than what is done will learn the way to his downfall rather than to his preservation.